Hello there, I'm Nadia Azmi and Nightline begins now. These are the top stories. Government allocates 1 billion ringgit for Kelantan to solve its water woes. And Malaysian mountaineer Muhammad Hawari goes missing during descent of Mount Everest. Good morning. A 2023 Malaysia Everest climber has gone missing while descending from Camp 4 after conquering the world's highest peak. 33-year-old Muhammad Hawari Hashim, who is hearing impaired, went missing on Friday while on his way down to Camp 3 after reaching the summit of Mount Everest. The matter was confirmed by expedition leader Azmi Ishaq, who said a search operation is ongoing. Meanwhile, another climber, Ayu Wanirah Naharuddin, said the team was now trying to locate Muhammad Hawari using a chartered helicopter. Adding Azim Afif and pioneer adventure Sherpa Nga Tenji were also looking for him along routes commonly used by climbers. Ayu Wanirah said Muhammad Hawari and a Sherpa were resting at Camp 4 after successfully conquering the world's highest peak. It is understood that the Sherpa fell asleep for about an hour, but upon waking up, he found that Muhammad Hawari was not in the tent, and efforts to locate him around the Camp 4 area were unsuccessful. According to her, 8 Sherpas were immediately hired to search Camp 1 to Camp 4, but the effort has yet to bear fruit. Hawari was among the first group to reach the summit, together with Kedah Civil Defence Force Director Lieutenant Colonel Awang Askandar Ampuan Yaakob. However, 56-year-old Awang Askandar died in the ascent just before reaching the summit of Mount Everest, which is 8,848 meters above sea level. Organised by Altitude Exploration Club, the 2023 Malaysia Everest started its 2-month mission to conquer the world's highest peak on April 2nd, with the support of the government and the Youth and Sports Ministry. The federal government has allocated 1 billion ringgit to help resolve the water problem in Kelantan. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said the allocation was announced and approved by Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim.
Sebagaimana yang saya nyatakan, mengikut apa yang diumumkan oleh Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri.
Okey. Peruntukan itu untuk bila, Datuk Seri?
Bermula daripada tahun ini.
Tahun ini
ya.
Dari segi kerja-kerja dia macam mana? Ada melibat urus dia macam mana apa semua?
Tata kelola dan libat urus secara telus. Ya.
Ada kerajaan nak letakkan orang itu dalam HSB untuk pantau ini?
Itu dari segi operasional kita serahkan kepada Kementerian Kewangan.
He was speaking to the media after attending a Hari Raya Aidilfitri open house organised by Felkra in Kota Baru on Saturday. Also present was Felkra Berhad Chairman Datuk Ahmad Jazlan Yaakob. Earlier in his speech, Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid, who is also the Rural and Regional Development Minister, said the government hoped that the allocation could help to solve the water issue faced by the people in Kelantan. During his visit to Kelantan recently, Datuk Seri Anwar had expressed his commitment to solve the water woes in Kelantan as well as Sabah. In the meantime, Education Minister Fadlina Siddiq said that a significant amount of the 1 billion ringgit allocation will be channeled to provide clean water supply to dilapidated schools in Kelantan as well as schools in the remote areas of Gua Musang.
Pastinya sekolah-sekolah ini kita akan maknanya mendapat tumpuan lah daripada peruntukan itu, dan saya fikir wajarlah maknanya kita bagi tumpuan pada kemudahan asas ini untuk memastikan anak-anak kita juga mendapat maknanya bekalan air yang mencukupi dalam tempoh yang panas ini.
She said this to the media after attending the Madani Education Roadshow and Aidilfitri with the Education Minister event in Kota Baru on Saturday. The ministry also hoped the assistance and allocation for providing clean water in Kelantan will benefit all schools in the state. Speaking on another matter, Fadlina said the Education Ministry has yet to set a time frame regarding the permission given for students, teachers and members of the implementing group in all its educational institutions to wear appropriate sports attire during the current hot weather. She said the special permission depends on weather conditions and is issued to avoid any health complications.
Dia kebenaran khas. Jadi kebenaran khas bergantung kepada cuaca, bergantung kepada nasihat daripada kita. Tidak buat keputusan KPM semata-mata saja, tapi kita dibantu dan mendapat pedoman daripada Kementerian Kesihatan dan juga Kementerian Alam Sekitar yang sentiasa memantau cuaca dan suhu untuk memastikan bahawa KPM dalam meneruskan aktiviti bersama pelajar dipantau dengan rapi dan kejadian-kejadian yang tidak diingini pun boleh dihalang dan dicegah. Belum. Jadi kita teruskan dulu memakai pakaian seperti mana Datuk Pengarah sebut tadi yang bersesuaian dengan keadaan dan cuaca di Malaysia ketika ini.
On May 3rd, the ministry issued special permission to students, teachers and members of the implementing group in all its educational institutions to wear appropriate sports attire during the current hot weather to avoid any health complications. The ministry also said that neckties are not mandatory for students wearing school uniforms. The heavy rain and storm that hit the federal capital on Friday evening has caused at least 15 schools to be damaged. Works Minister Datuk Sri Alexander Nantalinggi said in the incident, the schools concerned were found to have had roofs torn off as well as damage due to falling trees. He said the Kuala Lumpur Public Works Department PWD is carrying out further checks to identify in more depth the type and extent of damage to all the schools involved. As a precautionary measure, he said PWD has advised the schools, including teachers and students, to refrain from entering the affected areas to ensure the safety. According to him, the Works Ministry, through PWD, will work closely with the Education Ministry to ensure that efforts to investigate, repair and control security can be coordinated well and as quickly as possible. Among the schools involved are SMK Desa Perdana, SK Salak South, SK Dana Perdana, SJKC Jalan Imbi, SK Cochrane, SK Kampung Baru and SMK Taman Melati. Datuk Sri Nanta said the ministry had also received reports of damage to several residential units at Rumah Keluarga Angkatan Tentera at Camp Batu Cantonment, Kuala Lumpur, where roofs and awnings were ripped off in the storm. Malaysia wants to continue working with the United States on issues involving the transition to renewable energy, reduction of methane gas emissions, as well as climate finance and technology. The matter was conveyed by Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim during a phone call that he received from the United States Special Presidential Envoy for Climate, John Kerry, on Friday. Through a post on his official Facebook page, Datuk Sri Anwar said they discussed various issues related to the environment, renewable energy, the worsening climate change and its devastating effects around the world. During the phone call, the Prime Minister also talked about Malaysia's aspiration to achieve net zero greenhouse gas emissions as early as 2050. Datuk Sri Anwar also emphasized that the United States, as one of the developed countries, should be a leader in curbing climate change and its effects on the environment and human health. He added that this can be done by providing sufficient financial assistance, capacity and technological support to help developing countries implement their respective climate agendas and actions. The government has given its assurance that the sugar supply in the country is still under control and not in crisis. Domestic Trade and Cost of Living Minister Datuk Sri Salahuddin Ayub denied recent rumours saying that there is a lack of sugar supply in the country and said he had also met with 2 sugar companies in the country who have given their assurance on the matter.
Harap rakyat bertenang dan tidak percaya kepada rumours ataupun berita angin yang mengatakan akan berlaku kenaikan harga gula. Adapun tentang ada poster-poster ataupun yang diviralkan mengenai harga gula itu RM4.60 adalah tidak benar sama sekali.
He said a meeting was held with MSM Malaysia Holdings Berhad, MSM, and Central Sugar Refinery Sindran Berhad, CSR, on Friday, which is the 3rd time they had met to discuss the matter. Despite the price increase of raw sugar and natural gas globally, Datuk Sri Salahuddin said that the government, through 4 ministries, has ensured that the people have continued to be able to purchase sugar at an affordable price. He said this when met by the media at the Pulai MP's Hari Raya Open House at Taman Rekreasi Taman Uda Utama in Johor Bahru on Saturday. Datuk Seri Salahuddin was commenting on images of a supposed gula super or premium white sugar in green packaging that went viral on social media recently and is said to be sold at a price of RM4.60 per kilogram. In a statement released earlier, Datuk Seri Salahuddin said MSM and CSR had both confirmed that sugar in that grade has not been produced and marketed in the country. Datuk Seri Salahuddin said the introduction of any new product of sugar in the market must first be approved by the Domestic Trade and Cost of Living Ministry, as sugar is a controlled item as provided under the Control of Supplies Act 1961.
UMNO has a certain way in getting voters to support the component parties under the unity government in the upcoming state elections. Its president, Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi, said the same approach had been taken by the party in Barisan Nasional (BN), and this time it will be done on the basis of unity among the parties supporting the unity government.
Dulu, pengundi UMNO, artinya pengundi Barisan Nasional, turut menyokong calon-calon daripada MCA dan MRC serta parti-parti lain yang ada dalam Kabinet Barisan Nasional. Kaedah yang sama digunakan. Bukan kerana nama parti itu tetapi atas rasa kebersamaan parti-parti yang ada di dalam kerajaan perpaduan.
On the list of candidates for the 6 state polls, Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid said the party has shortlisted the candidates after discussions were held with the BN liaison chiefs of the 6 states. The state polls will be held this year in Selangor, Negeri Sembilan, Pulau Pinang, Kedah, Kelantan and Terengganu. Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah was on Saturday conferred the Honorary Doctorate of Philosophy in Leadership by the International Islamic University Malaysia IIUM. It was presented by Raja Permaisuri Agong Tunku Hajah Azizah Aminah Maimunah Iskandaria, who is the constitutional head of the IIUM, in a special convocation ceremony in conjunction with the university's 40th anniversary celebration.
Al-Sultan Abdullah, in his acceptance speech, thanked the university for conferring him the honour and said it was not only an acknowledgement of his achievements but also those of the people of Malaysia. The king said in recent years, since ascending the throne, he has come to realise the crucial role leadership played in uniting and propelling the nation forward, seizing opportunities and fostering prosperity as a nation. Meanwhile, IIUM's Communication, Advocacy and Promotion Office, in a statement, said the honorary doctorate was in recognition of Al-Sultan Abdullah's leadership. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong's leadership is evident when the COVID-19 pandemic hits the world and the country, as well as his deep concern in helping the people and encouraging the frontliners to stand together and fight against the virus.
Eight Umrah pilgrims killed in Mecca hotel fire. This and more from the Foreign Front when we come back. We're back with news from the Foreign Front. At least 8 Pakistani Umrah pilgrims were killed while another 6 sustained injuries in a fire that erupted in a hotel in Mecca. According to the spokesperson for Pakistan Foreign Office, the incident occurred at a hotel located on Ibrahim Khalil Road when a fire broke out in a room on the 3rd floor of the building following a short circuit before spreading to other rooms. The Foreign Office confirmed the deaths and said that 8 Pakistani nationals were killed and at least 6 others were injured in the incident. It was reported that pilgrims from other countries were also staying at the hotel. Pakistan Prime Minister Muhammad Shehbaz Sharif, meanwhile, has expressed his grief and sorrow over the death of the pilgrims. Group of 7 G7 leaders on Saturday agreed to a new initiative to counter economic coercion and has pledged action to ensure that any actors attempting to weaponize economic dependence would fail and face consequences. The initiative, dubbed Coordination Platform on Economic Coercion, will use early warning and rapid information sharing on economic coercion, with members meeting regularly for consultations. The G7 leaders, in a statement, said that the world has encountered a disturbing rise in incidents of economic coercion that seek to exploit economic vulnerabilities. The statement, however, did not identify China, but in details released on Friday that outlined the proposed initiative, the British government pointed to attempts by China to use its economic power in political disputes with Australia and Lithuania. The statement also committed the G7 leaders to deepen cooperation on hardening supply chains and called for a bigger role for lower-income countries in promoting economic resilience. Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen vowed on Saturday to maintain the status quo of peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait amid high tensions with China, which has stepped up military pressure on the democratically governed island. Tsai, who rejects that Taiwan is a part of China, said that during her tenure, residents have shown the world Taiwan's determination to defend itself. She also said that war is not an option and neither party can unilaterally change the status quo in a non-peaceful manner. Her speech comes as Taiwan gears up for its next presidential election, with China tensions set to top the campaign agenda. Under Tsai's 2 terms as president, the self-ruled island has seen stepped-up warplanes and sea incursions from China, which claims Taiwan as its territory to be claimed one day by force if necessary. sports, badminton, the 2023 Sudirman Cup. Malaysia's fine run at the championship ended when the team crashed out in the semi-finals on Saturday in Suzhou, China. Malaysia, making only their third appearance in the last four stage of the World Mixed Team competition, lost 3-1 to four-time winners South Korea.
After delivering the first point in all their four previous ties, Malaysia's mixed doubles suffered their first defeat today when Chen Tang-ji Toh Iwei lost 11-21, 21-13, 21-7 to world number 5 Seo Seong-jae Ching Yu-jung. Malaysia drew level through Lee Zijia, who made easy work of Jeon Hyuk-jin 21-11, 21-9. But the tie then swung back in the Koreans' favour through world number 2 women's singles on Se-young. Se-young, who has been in sensational form, downed the 20-year-old Kayla Chana 21-10, 21-13. It was all over for Malaysia when world number 3 Aaron Chia So Wee-yik lost 21-12, 21-11 to the scratch pair Kim Won-ho, Na Sung-seong. South Korea will play the winners of the tie between China and Japan next in the final.
Now it's gone wide.
On to football, the 2023 Super League. 3 matches were played on Friday night. Seri Pahang recorded a slim 1-0 win over Penang, while KL City claimed a 3-1 win over Kelantan United. At the Perak Stadium, Selangor cruised to a 4-0 victory over Perak. The Red Giants opened the scoring in the 40th minute through Colombian import player Iran Del Val before Faisal Halim scored the second goal 5 minutes later. The Bosgarus' disappointing night went from bad to worse when Selangor's Mukairi Ajmal's goal in the 51st minute saw the visitors lead by 3 goals. The misery for Perak continued when Del Val scored his second goal of the night in the 70th minute. The victory means Selangor remains second in the league table with 25 points after 11 matches, while Perak with only 9 points. After this short break, 12-year-old killed after car plunges into ravine. The Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency MMEA has seized 4 merchant ships for illegally anchoring in the eastern Johor waters within a span of 6 days. The operation, codenamed Op Jangkar Haram, is to tackle ships anchoring without permission in Malaysian waters. Tanjung Sedili Maritime Zone MMEA Deputy Director Commander Muhammad Najib Sam said the 4 tankers, comprising 2 registered in Singapore, an Indonesian vessel and another registered in Monrovia in Liberia, were seized between Saturday and Wednesday. The vessel's captains failed to produce permits allowing them to anchor in Malaysian waters, which is an offence under the Merchant Shipping Ordinance 1952. Commander Najib said since the beginning of the year, 28 vessels have been seized to date for illegally anchoring in Malaysian waters. In Pahang, a 12-year-old was killed and 3 others were injured when the car they were travelling in plunged into a ravine at the Bahau-Krathong Highway near Bandar 15, Melati on Saturday. It is learned that Muhammad Razik Ramli from the Krathong 6 Felda settlement died on the spot in the 3:20 a.m. accident. Rompin District Police Chief Deputy Superintendent Muhammad Azhari Mukhtar said initial investigations revealed that the accident took place as the car, a Perodua Myvi, was descending a hill. It is believed that the driver had lost control, veered off the road to the left and plunged into a ravine. 3 more victims, namely the driver and 2 male passengers, including a child, was also injured in the incident. The victims' remains have been sent to Muazzam Shah Hospital for post-mortem. In a small village near Dungun, Terengganu, residents were stunned by the discovery of a male body on the village beach. The body was found at about 9:40 a.m. in an open area near a small forest by a fisherman who happened to pass by the location. The victim has been identified as 35-year-old Muhammad Faiz Zafri from Kampung Padang Jambu. Dungun District Police Chief Superintendent Baharudin Abdullah confirmed the discovery of the body. According to him, there is no evidence of foul play and the case is being classified as a sudden death. The body has been taken to the forensic unit at Dungun Hospital for post-mortem. In another development, Kuala Lumpur City Hall DBKL has taken proactive measures to protect the safety of tenants at the Lokyu public housing flats after the wooden walls of a housing unit was ripped off following a thunderstorm on Friday evening. DBKL informed that it has covered and fenced off the area where the walls were ripped off to prevent untoward incidents. In a statement on Saturday, DBKL said temporary walls have been installed before the repair works are carried out soon. Temporary measures have also been taken on 4 other units at Block 3 of the Sri Johor public housing flats after the roofing was blown off during the thunderstorm. According to the statement, canvas sheets have also been placed over the affected units before the proper roofing is installed, and electricity supply to the affected units have been cut off as a safety precaution, while the occupants involved have moved to their relatives' homes in the nearby area. Thank you for watching and stay safe.